Hello guys, and welcome to episode 11 of my Civilization Beyond Earth playthrough, playing as Integer on Rising Tide. And well, the war with Franco-Iberia continues in this one, and I'm basically waiting for them to attack me so that I can destroy more of their units. That's pretty much what I'm going for here. I'm also waiting for the upgrade on my artillery units, and then I'm going to see how much damage I can actually do to Gran Exito. Because at the moment, currently my artilleries don't do much at all, so that's not very good. But anyway, in Vactor, we want to probably get a worker, I'm thinking. We need a worker down here, and we do need more workers overall, because I've noticed that a lot of these tiles aren't being worked yet, and that's probably due to our lack of workers in general. And since we're at a point where we can create more workers, I think that's what we should do. Now the other thing I need to do is probably produce a couple more settlements. I'll probably build them up here maybe, and maybe one closer to Brasilia, but we don't really want to annoy them too much because I don't want to be fighting a war on two fronts. So yeah, we're just going to continue with that tenet, exploring around, and we'll move on to the next turn.
Le commerce fonctionne quand on comprend l'autre.
So Franco-Iberia offering me Berat again, and I'm going to decline that. And it looks like my needle jets will intercept the enemy needle jets. My artillery is still taking damage though. And it looks like Seric has been taken over by the Pan-Asian Corporation. So my ally has attacked Brasilia and taken Seric from them, which I think was originally the Russians.
If the personality traits you currently have don't seem as useful anymore.
So we have a spy satellite. I'm going to try and launch this as close to these settlements as possible without putting it in range to be shot down. So I think we're going to go on top of that Fraxite tile with that. And that will reveal a lot of the Franco-Iberians' lands. But the only trouble is if this Franco-Iberian artillery actually shoots that down. That could happen because I didn't see it there before. But we'll see. It looks like they don't actually have much coming towards me at the moment. And they are relatively undefended. Now if this spy satellite stays alive, it will give me a good opportunity to attack Gran Exito. At Castellan, we are going to get a worker building there, and then I'm probably going to build a colonist after that. Now here I'm going to get the +1 culture from networks. Extra culture later on in the game is always very useful. Going to move on to the alien nest, and if no aliens attack me, I'll destroy the nest, and that will make aliens hate me, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment. I'm pretty sure my units are good enough to just destroy aliens now. The trouble is we still don't have upgraded trade convoys, and it looks like Fidel was in range to attack my spy satellite. I thought they could only attack 2 tiles. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm probably going to have to build another one. I think the orbital bombardment range gets increased by certain buildings and so on, so that's probably why Fidel was able to do that. Right, let's destroy the nest, and we get 25 energy for that, and now they hate me. Well, my Sea Dragon died attacking the enemy Sea Dragon. I thought we would get the kill, but obviously not. I don't really care about that, to be honest. Those aliens, the only reason I was leashing them and stuff was just to get rid of them. So that's absolutely fine. We have 654 energy to work with. So I'm actually going to save that and purchase an artillery in the next turn. For our technology, artificial intelligence is currently underway. That will not give me enough to get level 9 supremacy, but that's what I'm looking for at the moment. So we'll wait till that technology is finished, and then I can choose where I'm going to go next with that. So one needle jet has been shot down, and Franco-Iberia has upgraded their artilleries to centaurs, so they must have level 9 in harmony now. The other thing that I could do is tech towards sabers. I think we can get sabers pretty quickly. Depends where they are on the tech web. Synthetic thought is what we need. Ah, yeah, so after artificial intelligence is finished, I will probably get synthetic thought, and I'll get the saber, which is great for taking out cities with a high amount of combat strength. In Eintracht, we're going to get another worker, and it looks like my disciple will be in range to be attacked by the centaur, but I'm just going to let that happen anyway. Are we currently at peace with Brasilia? I think we are. Yeah, we're sanctioned with him. That's fine. Okay, let's go ahead and buy the artillery. And when that gets upgraded, it will definitely be worth that. Needle jets being intercepted once again. And my disciple is indeed going to be bombarded. Didn't do much damage though. I've just got to be careful about this Viper actually. So I've established a network in multiple settlements now. And I'm going to do this dossier delivered covert operation in Cittadella. So that's going to take 5 turns. In Gran Exito we're going to siphon energy, and the same in Liqueur. And now our production in Castellan. I think I'm going to work on the colonists I was talking about. And in Weisheit we're going to... Actually, we'll get the colonists in Weisheit, and at Castellan we will work on a military unit instead. So we'll get our own profit there, which will match the Franco-Iberian Vipers. At Demutz we are going to get the network, because that will give us extra capital to work with. And our quest decision, we're going to upgrade the trade convoys so that they cannot be attacked by alien units. Awesome. So that's what I was literally just talking about, and that quest popped up. So that's really good. We can also purchase things with our diplomatic capital. And honestly, I think I'm going to get another needle jet. That's actually going to be very helpful. I can stick that onto air interception once it comes round to the next turn. We're going to automate that worker. And this artillery can get into position and set up for a ranged attack. Okay, let's move on the tenets once again. And that's everything done for this turn. Enemy needle jet attacked my needle jet. That's probably with the air intercept. or air sweep even. The air patrol with your attack jet encountered no resistance, so that's okay. At Weltgeist we are going to now get a holosuite, I think. Getting that extra capital would be very nice, although I am sort of neglecting my science at the moment. And I could also build another worker here, which I'm going to do. So we'll do that first of all. Now at Vactor, we're going to get a laboratory, or even an alien preserve. I think we're going to get the alien preserve. And this worker can be automated. Let's set up that for a range attack and then fortify it. And we're actually getting through these turns relatively quickly. Still quite a few things to put an expedition on up there. But I don't think I have any explorers left really. I think they all died and I haven't built any since. So maybe it would be worth investing in one. Maybe next turn with the diplomatic capital. So enemy needle jets attacking my needle jets. And once again my disciples being attacked. But not to worry.
Desembucha.
And now Brasilia going to war with me. So we're going to have to get military forces towards Demut, is what I'm thinking. I'm actually going to send this CNDR towards that newly founded outpost. And I'm also going to send this tac jet, or needle jet, towards Weisheit, and we'll set it up at Demut. Okay, at Eintracht, we are going to need to build some military forces now. So I think getting a CNDR would be a good idea. And at Weisheit, we're going to work on a profit. And for our next virtue, we're going to get eudaimonia to get 15% less negative health. And that puts us up to 17 health, which gives us plus 12% production in cities, minus 14% intrigue in cities from hostile covert operations, and extra 2% science in cities. So some nice bonuses coming along from that. The other thing that I need to check up on is how many more virtues I need to get this synergy bonus. The extra 50% orbital coverage radius from cities isn't actually that good. So it's likely I'll now go toward industry or even might at this point. Get the extra production towards the military units and go all out to try and attack the Franco-Iberians. Also, we do have quite a lot of military units at the moment, so getting this public security thing, which gives us 0.25 health for every military unit under our command, would be very good. Right, let's automate the worker there. And I think this time round, Brasilia is much more likely to actually attack me. Let's get our Arbiter here to ranged attack the Centaur. I'm going to move forward with my CNDR and my Overseer there. That can actually set up and attack the Centaur as well. I'm then going to move forward with my Disciple and my Artillery. Okay. So I think I need to go back toward military units. Franco-Iberia is building up again. Let's take out that alien. That didn't quite do enough damage there. This Tenet is now in a pretty precarious position, and I'm not going to build that Explorer anymore because it will just get taken out by Brasilia if I try and send it up to the sunken spacecraft, I think. My artillery being attacked by the Viper and the Centaur. Now this is actually not too bad. Yeah, okay, I lost an artillery, but they will probably lose their Viper and their Centaur. Let's just move this to the Moot. I'm going to probably attack the Viper with the Overseer. I'm going to kill off the Centaur with the Arbiter if I can. Didn't quite do enough damage there. So I'm going to take out the Centaur with the CNDR because I won't be able to attack the Viper with the CNDR in this turn. I'm going to use this Overseer to attack the Viper. I'm going to use the artillery to attack the Viper. And then I'm going to use this Disciple to hopefully destroy it. Great. That worked out well. Tempted to attack this Centaur with my Disciple, but it will put me in range of Gran Exito and the Franco-Iberian Centaur in that settlement. So that's probably a bad idea. Going to move the artillery into Castellan to keep that nice and safe. And I'm going to attack this brawler with my Disciple and the settlement. I think I might also attack it with the needle jets. And that will leave it on very low health. So we'll fortify until healed that Disciple then. And we just made a lot more war score from that. We now have 550 to work with. Still working up to about 800. So yeah. We've got quite a way to go. But we're getting there. Franco-Iberia losing 2 units for every one of my own, more or less. Let's get the CNDR to move up here. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to take over this outpost with this unit sat on top of it. Let's have a quick look at these yield icons to see where I want to put this settlement. Now I'm thinking I might put it on the water, but I'm not sure which tile, because ideally I was going to put it on like this tile, but I kind of recognize the fact that I do need to get more sea settlements. Like Demut can produce naval units, and Weltgeist can as well. But having a third that can would be useful, so maybe settling on that energy tile would be a good idea in between the silica and the fiber. Right, that's everything anyway, so let's just bombard the aliens again and we'll move on to the next turn. Castellan being attacked by the needle jets. I don't think the Franco-Iberian brawler will have enough to take that over. No, they didn't even bother trying. And it looks like my CNDR was put in a bad position there. So that's going to take a beating. Unfortunately, my needle jet is not on air intercept just yet. But my CNDR staying alive for this turn. So we're going to peace out with Hutama. That's fine. And now we have the quest to build one Neuralab building. We got the artifact discovered, the personal meditation helmet. I think we already discovered that in this campaign, but there's another one. And artificial intelligence is complete, which gives us access to the cell cradle, the surveillance web, and science from academy improvements. It also gives us level 5 harmony.
You only have to look at the ecosystems outside to get a masterclass in power systems, combat tactics, engineering, applied genetics, interpersonal relationships, and love.
So now, Xenomass tiles produce 2 more resources than normal, and with level 5 Supremacy we also get plus 5 health, so our health has gone up to 22. Glorious. Right. Next up at Weltgeist is going to be a Prophet, I think, is probably the best thing to build. Although, getting extra production here would definitely be useful to be able to pump out military units faster than I can already. For our research, we're going towards synthetic thought. That will allow me to get sabers, and they will be perfect for sieging Gran Exeter. So we can vet up that artillery. I'm going to use the ranged attack, possibly on the Brawler or the Immortal, but so I'm not going to do that yet. We'll use the artillery in Castellan to attack the Brawler. We'll attack the Brawler with the settlement. I'll also attack the Brawler with the Overseer, and we can finish it off with the Disciple. Then I'm going to use this artillery to attack that Immortal. I can use the Needle Jets to do the same. Although I possibly want to put them on air intercept because Franco-Iberia is pumping out the Needle Jets right now. Going to move forward that Disciple 1 turn, or 1 tile. We'll attack the Immortal with the Overseer. I'm going to retreat these units. And I'm going to have to leave the Arbiter where it is because I won't be able to attack that Centaur even if I move it round. So we'll just put that on alert. And if I use 1 Needle Jet, I think that might leave the Immortal low enough to be killed. Yes. Awesome. And then my second Needle Jet can be put on air intercept. With my worker automating from there. This Needle Jet needs to go on air intercept. This CNDR needs to retreat. And my colonist can continue towards its location. So we'll just fortify that CNDR then. And at Demut, I'm going to probably buy a military unit. If I move the Manticore out of Demut, I can do that. So we'll get a Disciple. And that will help us defend. So we have the Tenet to move again. And honestly, maybe it's time to bring that back to help defend against the naval units of Brasilia. So the Needle Jet attacked my Needle Jet. But I think it's okay, because my needle jets will never die, because they automatically heal every turn to full health because of the Xenomass bathhouses. Managed to stop one strike there from the needle jets, but it looks like the second will break through and maybe kill off my CNDR. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So with special delivery being complete, we have an extra covert agent. I'm going to assign them to another of Franco-Iberia's settlements, so Fidel this time round. And my covert operation in Ciudadela is now going to be to steal science. Takes less turns and will probably be more useful in the long run. So now at Blauwald we are going to produce an alien preserve, and we're going to upgrade our disciple, send him back a tile, and get him to start healing up. My Manticore can take up a defensive position on the coast, and I'm probably just going to fortify my disciple in the town for now. I'm going to move this disciple down a tile, do that, so that the centaur has to move up once in order to attack that, and then I can bombard it with my own arbiter. We'll fortify that artillery now, fortify the overseer, let that fortify until healed, and I'm going to set my needle jet to air intercept again maybe. Let's try for another air sweep. No, that didn't work. Quite frustrating. I think I'm just going to keep the artillery in Castellan for now. So we have 417 energy. I can't put that towards a military unit just yet because I don't really have enough. I might even save up for a profit. So here we go, another air engagement. And it's interesting to see them actually attacking Weltgeist as if they were going to take it over. They are bombarding that a hell of a lot. Looks like my disciple might be dead. But that is going to leave their Viper in a precarious position. And look at that, they've moved this centaur onto the water. So we're going to lose a disciple, they're going to lose a centaur and a Viper. I think that's quite a fair trade. We're going to found the outpost there. I'm going to discipline my needle jets. We're going to use the arbiter to wipe out the centaur. I'm going to bombard the Viper with the town. We'll wipe out the Viper with the artillery. And then probably the disciple. Bit of a delay on the attacks here. Seems the animations are bugged out again. But very good that we actually destroyed that unit. I'm now going to attack the second Viper with my Overseer. And I'm going to move this disciple up and bring this Overseer down. Just going to leave that to heal. And we'll fortify that Overseer. So let's go back to air intercept with that unit. We'll heal up the disciple, and soon we'll have our own prophet to help us defend against the Vipers. I'm going to alert that Manticore. this Needlejack can go back to air intercept. And everything perfectly okay for now. I'm just hoping that no units really turn up at Blauwald from Fidel. That would be a pain in the ass, to say the least. I don't know if it's Blauwald, like, rather than Blauwald. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure you guys will let me know. But unfortunately, that has been my time. So I am going to have to leave it there. It looks like we're going to be at war for quite a while with a lot of different nations. But I think we have the economy to support a large enough force to stay on the defensive and keep winning these wars, whilst still increasing our technology, our production, and so on. So I think we're okay. I'm just scared that these wars are delaying my victory. And if that happens, especially on this difficulty level, things could get interesting. And I might even lose the campaign just by them reaching a victory condition before me, rather than me being wiped off the face of the planet. But there we go. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.